Hello, I'm MBX3Cat, and you might recall how last week I made the most inefficient staircase I believed you could make in Minecraft Bedrock Edition. As you can see, it takes this long and this many blocks just to get up to a single block height. It's hilariously inefficient, or hilariously smooth you could say, but the interesting thing about this is a design that can be improved, but more interestingly than that perhaps is the fact that I also covered the most efficient staircase you could make in the game at the time. This is a staircase that covers 6 blocks upwards for every 1 block you go this way, and it basically uses cakes. The cake stair is still an efficient thing, but the interesting thing about this staircase is it doesn't really function as a staircase because you have to jump each time. And that's why I was so interested by this video, which was posted on Reddit by Now It's Clean and Heavy. As you can see, it's the steepest walkable staircase possible in 1.16. It is incredible to look at, and that's why I immediately decided, yeah, let's load this up, let's do one of these ourselves. I had to play around with it, but as you can see, I've made the exact same staircase, slab into chest, into glass pane, into bell, into cake, into trapdoor, which should take me up 3 vertical blocks for every one I go this way. However, in Minecraft Bedrock Edition, for whatever reason, it looks as though bells have a slightly different height, which means you can't actually jump onto the bell no matter how hard you might try. It's very sad that they don't have that kind of outside height going on, but it does mean that you can't actually do this staircase in a non-walking motion. This is super tragic, but it's something I decided to work on, and that's why I have not only an improvement to the least efficient staircase you can make in Minecraft Bedrock, but also I finally have the steepest walkable staircase, which actually should work in this version of the game, because as you can see, by using a mob head instead, you actually can walk without a single bounce being possible all the way to the top, and you can get yourself 3 vertical blocks for every 1 you go horizontally. And in today's video, I want to talk about both these designs, because who doesn't love horrifically ineffective staircases? I mean, you'd be lying if you didn't, because although this is super dumb and most people wouldn't make one like this, it is really cool to see that I'm standing here and then all of a sudden I can literally sneak in through that window just by doing the right stuff. So let's talk about it just a little bit, shall we? And let's start by improving the least efficient staircase, because I feel like that is something that it's one of those ideas I've always been in love with. As you can see, back in the console edition days, I made the snowcat staircase, which is so, smooth to walk up. It's basically like a ramp, I made disability access in Minecraft. Are you proud of me? But this is something that's even smoother than that by using loads of blocks that have come out. And again, this is one of those examples where Bedrock and Java are clearly different, because this staircase, theoretically on Java, is meant to have the carpet first, followed by the lily pad, because on Java they have different values, but on Bedrock this is 1/64th per block, this is 1/16th, and so on and so forth. But let me show you some areas where we can actually add some blocks, and this is what I learned, again, from someone actually reposting this design on Reddit, because if you use this, which is a chorus fruit plant, as you can see, if you use this in between the chest and between the enchantment table, you'll actually see that it will give you that kind of smooth step up. Look at this, boom, there is a gap in terms of height between the chorus plant and between the chest and the enchantment table. And then one other thing that I find very interesting is that even though 2 layers of snow looks to be actually slightly higher than this and slightly lower than that, it's actually 3 layers of snow, which even though it looks very much the exact same height as a daylight sensor, is actually, like as you can see right here, is a lower block. You actually go upwards from one, so you go from here, you go slightly up to that, although it looks like down here too, and then you go upwards some more. So that's an interesting, at least visual difference we could do, but I'm not going to be counting it for today, just because of the fact that, again, it seems to work very strangely. Even though there are 3 layers of snow here, you kind of just walk into the ground, because Bedrock handles heights in some interesting ways. So anyway, let's include this little thing into that staircase, and let's show you how we now have a staircase which takes 15 blocks horizontally to go 1 block vertically. A 15-to-1 gradient, which is pretty horrific, except interestingly enough, it should be even worse. On Java right now, you can make it even worse, because if we include the top snow, because top snow should work, I mean, as you can see, 1, 2, 3 top snow, for some reason you can just walk through it like it's nothing. Again, this is a very bizarre thing to look at in third person, but it also, that camera, the camera seems to adjust to it, but nothing else. That is very strange stuff. But even though the camera can adjust to that, you as the player can't, so that should be able to fit in here. And one other thing that also should, but doesn't work, is the chain. Chains can be placed sideways in the Java version of the game, but they cannot be placed sideways in the Bedrock version. They otherwise would fit right over here. But again, until that happens, there is no way to make a 17-to-1 staircase, but soon there will be, and that is a little bit of a sign about one of the weirder things you don't realize between Bedrock and Java is certain things work very slightly differently in ways you wouldn't notice till you try to make a disability ramp like I did. But as you can see, it's something that otherwise just isn't very notable. Also, again, just it's super strange, but worth pointing out that this just doesn't feel right, and I don't know why it's there, who thought it was a good idea, but maybe when snowier snow comes to the game, am I right? They can make this snow actually make sense. Anyway, speaking of things that make sense, you know what, sometimes you just want to make a super efficient staircase, a super steep, walkable staircase, and my god, is it fun, right? Yes it is. So let's go ahead and let's do this, but let's not just do it for like one way up, because you know, it's kind of fun to go 3 blocks up for every 1 block that we go, but the point of having a super efficient staircase should be to do this multiple times, right? So let's make that happen. So the plan here is simple, right? We just take this same functioning, if barely design, and we just kind of duplicate it. So we place ourselves a slab, then we place some wood planks, which go all the way up to here. Then on the other side of it, we have a chest. On top of that chest, we have a cake. On top of that cake, we have a creeper head. And then on this side of things, we have a glass pane over here. And then on top of that goes the trapdoor, which we obviously open up. And then we have this kind of repeatable design. It is very tricky to work. Again, on the equivalent, if the bell just worked, would be significantly easier. But this is a 3-to-1 staircase that is at least functioning, if nothing else. You're not functioning. The lowest praise that we can technically give it, and as a result we can kind of finagle our way to the top just like that. In reality, if you wanted to avoid the finagling, what you could just do is this. Again, it's the only simple four-way one that works easily on the Bedrock edition, but you better believe that's not what we want. We want the weird finagly, like, can we go left and right staircase? So that is exactly what we're getting, just like this, and we're going to repeat this structure repeatedly, obviously, until we get to the top. I am now proud to present to you the most efficiently inefficient way to get to 100 blocks in the sky. You can do that while going just 33 blocks horizontally, and although it's a bit of a nightmare to actually climb in reality, you know, in theory it is perfect, in practice it is maybe the opposite, or maybe I'm just bad at Minecraft. Maybe you can do this perfectly every time. I'd love to see you attempt that challenge. Like, I've never seen a staircase be so hard to climb, but when has that stopped anyone from doing dumb things in Minecraft? Am I right? But yeah, as you can see, you can in fact make a super efficient, super tall staircase, and every now and then you get in the groove of it as well, and things go well. And the thing that you'll notice is that while doing this, very much just a walk, by the way, bear in mind, you could sprint it if you wanted to, you could include auto jump, would probably make your life easier as well. But while doing this whole climb, you are just walking forwards. Again, you can choose to sprint it, and also you can choose to fall, as I'm just learning now. But as you're going to see, when we get to the top, which seems oh so far away right now, but once we get to the top, we've climbed 100 blocks, and we've done so short. And just to show you the insanity of this, let's now sprint. Look how far down we can go on the staircase before we die. That's impressive if you ask me. So at this point, you're either thinking this is one of the coolest things you've seen, or you're in the 99% of the population who goes, well, that's horrifically inefficient for something that's meant to be efficient like that. And you know what I say to you, person who insists that efficient things should be efficient? Well, you know what, if you think it can't get any worse, let me assure you when I say that it can. And that's when I had the idea of like, you know what, if you can climb 100 blocks that fast with an efficient staircase, how fast could you climb one with an inefficient staircase? I mean, as you can see right here, it's like, it's a thing that exists. You know, there's even 2 forms of it. It's a thing that exists, and a thing you can sprint up because it's so smooth. It is a ramp. But how big of a ramp this size would you need to get you up to 100 blocks? And that is something I guess we better start placing on. This staircase is so smooth and efficient, you can literally sprint it, and it still takes a couple of seconds to get from one end to the other. And, you know, the question would be like, how long does it take to get to 100 blocks like this? And obviously, you'd have to be some sort of madman to make a staircase that big. Okay, I thought this was a really good idea. I thought it was one I could totally commit to. But let me just mention that right now I've made a staircase which goes up to 15 blocks in the sky. That is not particularly high for a staircase. That is, I'd say, about average for a normal Minecraft world. But look how long it takes me to sprint up this thing. To sprint up it. I'm going the maximum speed that Minecraft will let me. You know, I'm going the speed limit and a bit more. But despite that fact, as you can see, I am still nowhere near the top just yet. I'm like I think I can just about see the end in sight right now, but I honestly don't know because of how repetitive it is. This is the most ridiculously inefficient staircase, but it has the smoothest gradient of them all, and it will get you up to 15 blocks. If you want to imagine what it's like to go to 100 blocks, again, it only takes that long, 30 blocks in the other one. In this staircase, it will take you more like 3,000 blocks. It's actually more like 1,500 blocks. Wow, how dare I exaggerate. But it will take you about 1,500 blocks, or if you are on Java and you can use the 2 other blocks, 1,700 blocks just to go 100 in the sky. That is an insane ratio that is, again, very pleasant to travel along. But the fact that even to fly along this thing, even to show this thing in one shot, will take you, more than a dozen seconds, that is a fact of insanity to me. But I figured you might want to see Minecraft's most inefficient staircase, because if we're going to be inefficient when we're efficient, we might as well be inefficient extra, inefficient squared, I guess is what this is. And I hope you all enjoyed seeing it, because this has been a bit of a delight. But if you did enjoy the video, maybe you should consider subscribing. I like doing dumb stuff in Minecraft every single day on this channel, and if you subscribe, you've got a higher likelihood of seeing it on your homepage. Also, you can consider, if you really want to see those notifications, following on Twitter. That is the more reliable second platform, just in case you don't trust YouTube notifications, although I imagine by virtue of the fact that you're on YouTube, you probably do. But just in case, there's an option for you. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for supporting the channel, because I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye.